Hello everyone! I hope you can hear me and see me. Maybe let me know in the chat real quick. You can just send a little thumbs up or something, or just say, I see you, I hear you. MC is asking, how do I get rid of the giant ad so I can see the comments? I'm also trying to figure that out, and I have not yet actually found a solution. So I know, oh wait, now, maybe now I can. 1 second. 1 second. I'm going to delete you. You are going to be deleted. Done. Maybe try if you reload your stream now to have that ad gone. I hope maybe I fixed it. I can't be 100% sure because it always looks a bit different for me than it does to you, what we're seeing, what I'm watching. But it should have fixed it. I'm trying my best to figure out how to fix it. One thing that does work if it's blocking your chat a bit too much and you're watching on desktop is actually just zoom out a little bit. Your chat does get smaller, but you will be able to see more of it. So I hope that that might actually work. And I'm just trying to figure out if I can just hide this. What can I do to make this go away? Delete. Delete. I don't want you. Go away. I hope I fixed it. I am not convinced that I did though, so I apologize for that. I think I'm just gonna get started with the show because, yeah. Matt's not here today, so it's just me, which already means that, you know, it's a lot of moving parts and I'm trying to get, get everything going. Hi everyone, welcome to today's Hobbii Happy Hour. If you've never met me before, if you're wondering who's this random woman just not getting things working the way it should, it's me, Louisa. Hi, welcome. I have the great pleasure of being your little entertainer of the day. I can be quite entertaining, not always. I do my best though. Normally I do have Matthias with me, who is our phenomenal technician. But he's on holiday, so it's just me. Yay! What is Hobbii Happy Hour, in case any of you are wondering what is happening here? This is Hobbie's Happy Hour. This is our little live shopping. It's a weekly stream, and we offer you a selection of yarns at a special discount. Today it's 12 different yarns. It's a very, very nice selection, if I may say so myself. And the discount is 40% off, and to get that 40% off, apply the discount code HAPPY40. You will occasionally see it written above me right here. HAPPY40 is the discount code. You should, if you've commented on this video, receive a message. I've set it up on a timer to send out about a little bit with a delay. You should get a message that includes a link to all of our offers, so you should get that link sent to you. If you're on Instagram, you can comment HAPPY40 if you want to receive the link. And if you're on YouTube, I have added the link to the video description there, so you should find it there, no problem. And if you've been on a previous live shopping stream, the link actually stays the same week by week, so you can also just use last week's link. The offers are valid for 24 hours, so they'll expire tomorrow around 5 p.m. In fact, I set them up for an extra half hour, so it's 5:30 p.m. CET tomorrow. There is a timer on the page now that actually shows you, as long as the timer is running, the offers are still valid. I hope I did the math correctly and actually set the timer up correctly, because you have to actually do that manually, so you have to actually put in a specific time. So it's, you know, one of those things where there might be human error involved, as usual. If there's an error, most likely it was me. Sometimes it's Matthias, in which case we use the hashtag #BlameMatt. But that's not fair. We won't do that when he's not here and can't defend himself. What else do I have to tell you? That's right. So 40% off our selection, valid 24 hours. It sadly cannot combine with any other discount, so you can't combine it with yesterday's bingo discount, for instance. I do, however, hope that you enjoy it. The 40% discount also only applies on the base price of the yarn, so it replaces the bulk discount regardless of how many skeins you buy. So it doesn't count on top of the... Cynthia saying, the counter says 33 hours remaining. You may be on our German page, because that might be set up for it, or not German page, but our European page, because that might be set up for the German live stream. I will look into the timer and make sure that it runs as it should. I can see that on the US page it says 1 day and 22 minutes remaining, which is how it's supposed to be looking. But like I said, we're trying things out. Human error. It's me. I am the human and the error. Well, the person who made the error. All right. In addition to our brilliant yarn selection, we will also have 3 giveaways today. 3 giveaways today. One will be very soon, and I'm very excited because we have a live Facebook group. The group was created by Jaya many years ago in order to offer an additional platform where we could kind of all connect together and all get together. Someone says, my US page says 1 day, 7 hours and 22 minutes. I have a sneaking suspicion that the way the setup works is that the time I put in is the local time for everyone, which means if I put in local time tomorrow 5 p.m., it actually shows you your local time tomorrow 5 p.m., in which case that is a terrible setup. It should adjust. It should just be a base time, and it should adjust based on that. I will look into that tomorrow. That's a problem for tomorrow. Like I said, the timer is just there to have a little... Yes, people are saying Jen is 2 hours off from me. I assume that means that she is in a time zone that is 2 hours off from you. Where was I? Oh yeah, the group. So we have our live streaming group. It's called the Hobbii live streaming community. Again, you should get a little message in a few minutes if you've commented on our stream. You should get a little message that also has a link to the group. So I've tried to set it up so that you just get one message that has all of our links, and it's not bound to a trigger on Facebook. So I hope that works. If it does not, I will make sure to try and send out some links as well so that you can get all the links you want. So you can find our landing page, so you can find our offers, and you can find our group if you're not already a member. It is a very, very lovely, very fun community. I've been lurking a lot over the years, but I've been trying my best now to be a bit more active, to also share a few behind the scenes moments. And we did have a where am I going with this? Oh, we did have a giveaway there. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been asking people to post some pictures of things they've made. And in a second, we will look at some of those. And then I have prepared a little draw, and we're going to find a winner. And that winner is going to receive a gift card worth $25. And we will do 2 more giveaways today. We will do one from the chat at the halfway point of the show, where you can also win a $25 gift card. And at the very end, we will do another chat draw giveaway. And the gift card will be $50 or equivalent in your currency. So that's right, we're doing 2 smaller ones and 1 big one at the very end of the stream. So it's worth sticking around until then. I try to keep the streams under an hour and a half. We'll see. Without Matt here to keep me accountable for time, it might be a bit longer. I'll do my best though. So that's what we've got for you today. 12 yarns, 40% off, valid 24 hours, regardless of what the stupid timer says that someone clearly set up incorrectly. In addition to that, 3 giveaways, 2 gift cards worth 25 monies, and 1 gift card worth 50 monies at the end of the stream. Jody says, I forgot to post my whip yesterday. I think last week I remember I saw your whip. This week I don't think you're in the draw, but do not worry, we'll do the same thing again next week. So just post your whips and you are in for a potential gift card win. Dee's asking for the one for signing up ahead of time. we're switching things up a little bit. Those will probably come back at some point. We've just kind of looked at what are different ways that we can make it so it kind of keeps it a bit fresh and interesting. And also, I particularly like doing the chat ones because it has a graphic, and I love a little graphic. And I really like doing the group one, the picture one, just because I get to make a little slideshow that I'm going to show you in a minute. So it's all a little bit, you know, we're trying things out. We'll see. But yeah, please do sign up for our events if you want and if you can, because it's always a good sign for us that they're in demand. It's a good way for us to also justify doing these events to our boss. So and Kristen is asking if we've already done a giveaway. No, we have not. It's a long intro. Listen, there's no Matthias here to stop me. Who's going to stop me from just rambling for an hour? I could just start rambling now, and you would never be able to do anything about it other than drop out of the stream, which please don't, because then I would feel really bad for making everyone leave. But let's get started for real. And I actually do want to start with the giveaway that we did in our Facebook group. Like I said, if you've commented on our video, you should receive a message roughly 10 minutes after. I can already see that the first people have said that they've gotten their link sent to them, so excellent. That's how it's supposed to be. And there is a link included to our Facebook group. It is called the Hobbii live streaming community, followed by a heart emoji, like a smiley with hearts emoji, and you can request to join. I try to make sure that every morning I go in and I approve everyone that requests to join, and it's a very fun little community. And all you have to do is post a picture of your whip in that group and use the hashtag #HobbieLive, and then I will go through that hashtag. I set the filter so it shows me everyone who posted within the last week, or since I last checked basically, and then I just take all the whips, I take all the names, and then we do a little giveaway with them. And with that, let's look at some whips. Let's look at some pictures that you uploaded into our group. I've made this little slideshow, and you can see them right here. It is a total of, I think, 21 that I put in the slideshow. However, those are not the only ones that are eligible to win. I've actually picked everyone's name. If you posted multiples, I only counted your name once. I did go through my list, and I've counted everyone's name, and I actually went through the horrible task, no, not really, of printing them out and cutting them out. I spent about whole minutes on this today. And we will, in a second, do a little draw. If you did upload a picture and you don't see it in the little slideshow, I do apologize. There were, I believe, more than 55, 58 posts. May have actually even been more. It was 2 full A4 pages of names. And I had to wind it down to a lower number because I figured we can't be looking at whips all day, every day. But here are some. If you're in between projects, you can, of course, upload a picture of your stash. I think Erica did. Hers should be, I think hers was early on. Ashley is currently working on our Moonlight Magic Cal, so I felt I should definitely include her picture as well, and I hope it's coming along nicely. So many different projects, so much creativity. Oh yeah, thank you. WIP is a work in progress, if you are unfamiliar, so it's WIP, work in progress. And if you're in between projects, we did say we will also happily look at pictures of your yarn stash, such as this one, which is incredibly organized and also incredibly envy-inducing, I believe. So now you know what some of the people in our lovely community have been up to this week. I also posted a picture of WIP at the end of last week. It's a shawl. I actually haven't really worked much on it. I did a little bit on my commute today, but I haven't really worked on it that much this week yet. But here's some beautiful, beautiful projects that were submitted by you out there. And I think it's a great little celebration of creativity to look at. So thank you to all of you who uploaded some of your pictures. And I saw Ruth ask if it's allowed to post the same WIP. Yes, of course it is. In fact, I think it's really fun if you do, because that actually is a really cool way for us to look at, you know, your progress. You can it's almost like a little diary. So these were some of the projects that you out there are working on, maybe right this second as you are watching the stream. And all 50-something people who commented in total got thrown into a little bucket. I also included everyone who posted a recently finished project, especially if you posted your WIP the week before, because I really like seeing that progression. And so I am now going to do a little shimmy, shimmy, shimmy of... No! And 5 names fell out. Well, that's not good. So they go back in. I close my eyes again. And I can now reveal that our first giveaway winner of the day, winning a gift card worth $25, is none other than this lucky person. And the giveaway goes to Sarah Nickhoff, or Nickrouf. Sarah Nickhoff? Nickrouf? This is how your name is spelled. Sarah, congratulations. You are winner number 1 of this stream. I'm going to super quickly note down your name. Hello. Why? Oh, I don't have editing access to this. Okay, I do here though. There we go. Sarah, congratulations. You are our first winner of the day. You will receive a gift card worth $25. And in order for us to send you that gift card, nope, this doesn't work. Where are we? There we are. Please, Sarah, send us an email to live@hobbii.com. So that is Sarah, our giveaway winner. Please send us an email to live@hobbii.com in order to get your gift card, dear Sarah. Thank you to all of you who participated, and thank you to all of you who will join our little group, and to all of you who will upload your WIPs in the weeks to come. I look forward to seeing all of them. Lisa's asking, how do we get entered if I came in late? So for this draw, you actually had to be active before the stream. I go through them every Tuesday morning, and I do note when I go through so that for the next week, I can actually then set my filter to cut off exactly where I stopped for the week before. So the first giveaway winner today was drawn from everyone who in our Facebook group uploaded a picture of their current work in progress or yarn stash and used the hashtag #HobbieLive to tag it to make it easy to find. That was giveaway number 1, and thank you so much for all of you who participated, and I hope you enjoyed seeing some of your projects or some of everyone's projects. With that, let's get started with some yarn, because that's what we're here for, and it's 20 minutes in, and I haven't shown you a single skein of yarn. The first 2 yarns that I have for you today are Winterglow and Winterglow Solid, this dynamic duo of yarn goodness. Winterglow and Winterglow Solid are kind of companion yarns, I would say. They are both made from a gorgeous blend. It's 51% wool and 49% acrylic. You have the wool, which gives it a lot of softness, but it is blended with acrylic, which is overall kind of a little bit more soft and gives it a little bit of extra durability and fluffiness. It is super nice and fluffy and warm to work with. You can see here that it is a very loosely spun thread, which varies a little bit in thickness, and the same goes for the Winterglow. So this is the Winterglow Solid. It is solid colored, and the Winterglow is the exact quality of yarn, just with a gradient. So these threads, as you can see, spun a little bit looser and a little bit more variations, with a few more variations. So you can see on the same skein, this rather thin one and this rather thick one right next to each other on the same skein, and it will give your project that little bit of a rustic touch, of a handmade touch, if you will. Winterglow comes in the slightly bigger skeins. These are 765 yards each, and it comes with the color gradient. The color gradient that will give you very gentle stripes where the colors truly sort of blend and bleed into each other. As you can see on the close-up, I think it becomes very obvious. You'll see here many of the parts are 2 or more colors actually spun together to give you a really, really soft change and glow. The solid is in slightly smaller skeins. Here you get 380, so it's half a winter glow roughly. And you get a solid color. Overall, the colors have these really gorgeous, really saturated colors. You can see here. The mustard I was holding is color 24. I've got color 37 here, which is this gorgeous, gorgeous berry color. And then I've got a color 10 for a nice blue. Winter Glow also comes in a number of different beautiful colors. This green one, for instance, this is color 24. Or I also brought a more neutral one. This one's color 28 for those who like a more neutral touch. The recommended hook or needle size for both Winter Glow and Winter Glow Solid is a 4.5 to 5.5 millimeter. It is a lightweight yarn or light worsted weight yarn. Beautiful, beautiful for, oh no, I can see someone saying that the code they were sent last week does not work. I will, if you just send us another email to the live email address, I'll go through the inbox, probably not today, but maybe tomorrow, and I'll fix it for you. Don't worry. Also, I should have said this also for Sarah, our first winner. If you send us an email, please include which country it is that you are shopping from, because we need to make sure that the code is set up to work with your local store. So if you're shopping from the UK, for instance, please make sure to let us know. Otherwise, I think Matt by default sends out a code that's set up for the US. So if you're not there, then it might not work for you. So I'm very, very sorry. If you got a code that's not working right, we will fix it when we can. If you're looking for an idea on what you could make with Winter Glow, I have picked some patterns that I want to show you. I'll pull them up for you in just a second. The first one is this beginner-friendly knit pattern. This is the Ronnie sweater, which is actually made holding 2 strands of the solid colored yarn together. So you still get that really cool two-toned effect, and you literally just get it by holding 2 strands of different colors together. This of course works best if you have a high contrast on the colors, like the black and white you see here, but you can also play with this if you just want to create a melange by using 2 colors that are more closely related to each other. So this is the Ronnie sweater, which is a beginner-friendly knit pattern that we have on our page in sizes extra small to extra large. There is also this beautiful intermediate crochet pattern. This is the Holiday Glow sweater, which is a crochet pattern. Again, the colors are of course completely up to you. And what I like is if you are looking for a slightly more challenging project, so this is an intermediate level pattern, it's a really cool way because as you can see, every time you change color, you also change the type of stitch. So you get a really nice way to work with both patterns and different stitches and work with colors. So this is the Holiday Glow sweater pattern, which is available for free on our website, as is the Ronnie sweater. This sweater you could make in sizes small to 5XL, and the adjustments are in the description and in the pattern. I could see someone saying, I would really want to make the Ronnie sweater, says Debbie. I think it is such a nice project. That's why I wanted to show it to you as well today, but I particularly also enjoy it. And it is on our website, and it is also on our deals page. So if you go onto the page that is linked in the chat and in the video description, you will find it there. And also you should get a message sent to you on your messenger that includes the link to all of these patterns as well. One final pattern I wanted to show you because I also particularly love its use of a color changing yarn like Winter Glow. This is the Grenade Domino shawl, and what I particularly love about it is, as you will see here, it is an like entrelac design, so a slightly more challenging knitting design. And with the color change, you get these really, really lovely effects without having to use 5 different colors or anything. So you already get the effect from the entrelac pattern, but then added to that, you also get the added effect of the color change. So I thought that was a particularly cool way of working with it. This is the Grenade Domino Shawl, which is an intermediate level knit pattern. So these are some ideas what you can make with Winterglow and Winterglow Solid, our first two yarns of the night. Both of these are 40% off if you use our code HAPPY40, which I would definitely recommend that you do if you want to grab them at a discount. So HAPPY40 for these two lovely yarns. I'm going to quickly toss them aside, gently toss them aside, because they are still yarns and they deserve to be treated with care, and move on to our next yarns. The next one, I actually only have two small skeins here. I couldn't find any more. As many of you know, we've moved our studio a while back, and it has led to our yarn storage kind of shifting around and being a little harder to access. And so we actually have access to fewer of our yarns. So this is our beautiful rainbow lace. As the name suggests, it's a lace weight yarn. It's made from 100% mercerized cotton. I will show you a quick little close-up. So as you can see here, if you are someone who likes working really fine, intricate details, if you're someone who loves working with lace yarns, if you love making things like doilies, if you want to make curtains, if you like making very small accessories, if you are someone who might want to try out doing something like micro crochet, then you can use rainbow lace. It comes in a lot of different colors. I will pull up the color palette for you just to give you an idea on what the colors are that are available, because I do only have these two in the studio, so they, I think, give a very limited impression of this yarn. So as you can see here, there are loads of colors available. Pretty much any kind of project you want to make, you will find the color for it on our page. It is a mercerized cotton, so it has that really nice, very, very soft and also very shiny surface. So it's perfect for your smaller projects. They will get a really good structure as well, because the cotton is very tightly spun when you work this up. On one of these tiny little skeins, well, they're not that tiny actually, but you get roughly 306 yards of cotton. It is machine washable at high temperature, which is great. So you could also make some kids projects, for instance. The recommended hook or needle size is somewhere in the realm of a 2 to 2.5 millimeters. However, I know loads of people also go lower and go down to a 1.5, 1.75 millimeter. This is the beautiful rainbow lace. Those of you who've watched for a long time will know that rainbow lace is not a yarn that I would gravitate to naturally, simply because I'm someone who likes working with a bigger sized hook. I like anything that's a 4 millimeter and up. I am, however, in awe of everyone who works with these kinds of yarns regularly, because I do think that the designs look magnificent and the details and the little designs you can make with it are just super cool. And I did bring some pattern ideas as well. This first one is a crochet pattern that I think looks fabulous. This is the Flower Over Boys t-shirt, which is this super cute little t-shirt with a little floral design added to it. I think it looks so cute. I think it looks absolutely fab. It probably took many hours to make. And it is one of those designs that I saw and I instantly went, I want that. And then pretty much immediately went, but I don't want to have to make it. But I really want one. So this is the Flower Over Boys t-shirt pattern. It is available for free on our website, sizes extra small to extra large. And it is also linked on our deals page, so you can find it there. Marjorie says, I already downloaded that shirt pattern. I just need to make it now. Yeah. I look forward to seeing your results because I do think it looks fabulous. If you're looking for something other to wear, if you're maybe looking for something to combine with that top, then I have the Rose Garden top pattern for you and the Rose Garden skirt. So this is a gorgeous set that you could make top and skirt. The skirt is a little bit see-through if you just crochet it, but you can always wear some shorts underneath, or a little slip or a little underskirt, and the same with the top. It is a little bit see-through, but you can just make that work. So this is the Rose Garden set. Both the top and the skirt can be downloaded on our website, and these are both also intermediate level crochet patterns. And I saw quite a few of you actually say friendship bracelets, and I did also bring one friendship bracelet pattern that I particularly love. These fairy friendship bracelets are so cute. They look really nice when worn, and when you take them off, they unravel into a little lavender shoot, or a little lavender, what do you call it? A sprig of lavender? A branch? A little lavender flower and stem. So this is the fairy friendship bracelet pattern, which you can also crochet using rainbow lace. Marianne says, I downloaded it too, but I haven't made it yet. I do look forward to seeing it made because I think it is a beautiful pattern. I saw it and instantly kind of thought, well, that's never going to happen for me, but it looks amazing. So if you want to give any of these patterns a try, or if you just love stem, thank you very much, stem is the word I was trying to go for. So if you're looking for a super nice lace weight cotton yarn, then rainbow lace is the one you want to go for. Look no further. 40% off if you use our code HAPPY40, valid for another 24 and a bit hours. And let's move on to our next yarn, shall we? Which I put here. It's actually really hard. I need to kind of concentrate on where I put things, because I normally Matthias is usually on duty as well, and so he hands me yarns and he makes sure that everything's in the studio. Today I had to make sure that everything was in the studio, which is fine because I mean I know how to do this job, but it's just a bit, it takes a bit getting used to every single time he goes away. But he deserves his time off. Ellie's saying, for those asking, Winter Glow is soft but a bit scratchy from the wool. I am sensitive but not allergic. That is, oh, that's a really good question. Yeah, I personally think of Winter Glow as soft. I don't find it scratchy at all, but I am not very sensitive. So I am not the best sort of reference here. I do know that my friend Ronya, for instance, who is quite sensitive to wool, says that Winter Glow is just on the level of wool that she can still wear without a problem. So I would say it is probably, if you're very sensitive to wool, it may be a little bit much. It also obviously depends on what kind of project you're making out of it. Are you turning it into a big shawl or something that you're likely to wear over clothes, or into a vest maybe? Or are you turning it into a blouse or a sweater that may sit on your skin a lot? So it kind of depends on that as well, because of course, usually it is the friction of the fibers that causes the irritation on the skin. So if it doesn't touch your skin directly, it can help with that. It is softer than Manaya though, says someone. Yes, but I think Manaya also has a 65% wool versus Winter Glow, which has a 51% wool. So I think the wool content is also a little bit distributed differently. I'm moving on to our next yarn, which is great for all of you who love a little shawl moment, who love a little garment. I have Twister Glitter for you today. Twister Glitter is our Twister yarn with an extra glitter thread. Twister Glitter is a blend of cotton and acrylic. It's 53% cotton, 43% acrylic, and then 4% polyester. That is, the glitter thread is made from polyester. It has a really gorgeous color gradient. You start with a solid color on the outside and you end with a solid color in the middle. In between, one ply of your thread changes color at a time. So you actually run through this melange of different colors that truly just blend into each other. And at the center, there is an easy start tab. So if you like using your cakes from the inside, you can just pull from the tab that it comes with. The color gradients we have quite a few different ones. And the glitter thread, as you can see, is always picked to go well with the gradient that you're working with. So you have a silver one here, whereas here you have a yellow golden one to complement the gradient that you've got. You get quite a lot of yarn on a twister. It is just over 1,000 yards. It's 1,093 yards of material that you can work with. It is a sport weight yarn. with a recommended hook or needle size of a 3.5 to 4.5 millimeter, and it is machine washable at low temperature. So it is nice to work with for all kinds of things and easy to take care of when you work with it. I did actually look up some ideas on what you can make with it, and specifically I actually looked at some things that you have made with it. So these are some uploads from our user gallery. So you can see here that Emma, for instance, made this beautiful version of the Arachnis Curse coat, and Jazz did this incredible dress that I think just looks absolutely stunning, and you can see how nicely the material drapes with that cotton acrylic blend on the skirt. So you can see that it has enough weight to kind of fall down, but enough softness to not be like a kind of super super starchy, super solid skirt. And then you have this beautiful mandala by Jody as well. So these are some ideas on what you can make with Twister glitter, which is our fourth yarn of the night. Fourth yarn of the night. The color palette is a little bit smaller than our normal Twister palette. So here you see all the colors that we have. There's a few options depending on what colors you like. It is a more limited palette than our regular Twister palette though. So this is Twister glitter. It's 40% off with our code HAPPY40, which you can apply at checkout if you want to grab yourself one of these bad boys. Boop. And coming up next, we're moving through like a few different yarns today, and I didn't really put them together in any particular order or grouping this time. I just kind of went with what I like. Rigid is the word that I was thinking of for the skirt. Thank you, Cynthia. I love that. I love that so many of you just know what I'm trying to say. And we talked about this at bingo yesterday with Regina. Well, what we really talked about is the difficulty of learning a language and not knowing how to pronounce a word, because you only ever see it written and you don't hear it said in conversation. So if you're not a native speaker, I think it happens quite a lot that you look at a word and you just, in your head, especially, and I think English is interesting there because I think English is a little bit more out there with some of the pronunciations because of the different language groups that kind of came up and formed the amalgamation that is English. So you have words that I know for a German learner was always really difficult is the word catastrophe, because you just kind of, you look at the word and you go, well, that's Katastrophe, because in German it's also Katastrophe, which, so you kind of just go, oh yeah, catastrophe, or apostrophe instead of apostrophe. And so that's one that you just have to learn. You have to hear the word to know how it's said, right? And then there's the other thing, which is just you learn one word and you kind of stick with it. And there are so many possible synonyms or similar words. And I mean, I think a lot of that comes from reading, is how you learn more of those. But I find it really, really funny just to, yeah, sometimes come up on, well, either struggling with words and then using enough synonyms that someone just gets the correct one from that. And then the other one is learning how to pronounce words, which is really funny. My big one that I got wrong for a long time is caveat. Because I'd never heard that word said out loud. I'd read it a lot, and so I just called it caveat. So in my head, anytime someone was like, oh, there's just one small caveat. And then I heard it in a YouTube video and just sat there for like a whole minute just thinking, wow. Interesting. Would have never guessed. Pseudo got me. Oh yeah, the silent P in a lot of words. Yeah. Like pseudoscience or just anything, or yeah, or psychology. Those are also hard. Especially again if the word exists in your native language. So psychology, for instance, in German is Psychologie. So you do pronounce the P in German, and then in English you don't. Pterodactyl is another one that's nearly impossible to pronounce. And Katrina says, Spanish is so easy to pronounce when learning because the rules are really precise. Yeah, that's something I do like as well with a lot of languages, that if you have very clear idea of like, well, if it's written like this, it is always pronounced like this. One of my very close friends is Finnish, and she always says Finnish makes so much sense because you literally pronounce the word as it is written, with, I think, almost no exceptions. But then it has a really complicated grammar. And it's not related to any other language, really, so you kind of don't have any references. English likes being weird, says Sharon. Yeah, that is true. Anyway, let's move on to our next yarn, because I could talk about this topic for a long time, and I don't think we have that much time. Shiloh's saying, keep on rambling, Louisa. No, let's not. Let's not ramble today. Let's talk yarn, because the next yarn I have for you is Peacock. Peacock is this super, super, super soft yarn. It is kind of giving you a furry effect, but not quite. So it's not meant to be like a fake fur yarn in particular, which you can already see if you look at the color palette. So, but it was designed to give you that super, super fluffy, super soft effect. As you can see, the back of it is a very noticeable strand. And then, of course, as you work it up, the fibers completely cover it. This also means that for knitting, it's actually not that difficult to work with. I have been told, I haven't tried it yet, because you always have a thread that you can very clearly pick up. Crocheting is a little bit tougher just because there is a lot of fibers. And as you can see here, I mean, the camera kind of already struggles. Can you make out where the thread is here? Not so much. So finding your own stitches in the previous row can be a bit more tricky. So this is definitely, I would say, a little bit of a more advanced yarn. It is super, super soft. It's made from polyester, and it is a great way to either use for amigurumis or to use and spice up some projects with it. I've actually linked some patterns in on our live page that do use this as an effect. So to add some little add a little bit of texture and different color to a sweater, for instance, or you can use it for a cuff or for a rim of a hat. Brim of a hat. That's that. I hope that is the correct word. You get around 70 yards on one of these skeins. It is a bulky yarn, so you're looking at a larger hook or needle size of somewhere in the realm of 6 to 7 millimeters, and then you can machine wash this at low to medium temperature, so it's also easy to take care of. Skein instead of skein always trips me up, says Cynthia. Well, this is an interesting one because when I first started hosting these in English, someone commented on it, and I then kind of asked around, and it turns out that both pronunciations are acceptable. But it was really interesting because I had never thought of it as anything other than skein. To me, that's what it was. And then Regina, for instance, always says skein. And we've talked about this as well, that it's just two different pronunciations. It's what you've learned, and I find it really funny. Jenny says, it is so soft, but really annoying to work with. And Miralee says, I don't really like crocheting with eyelash yarn. Knitting with it is so much easier. That is also the impression I've gotten from everyone who has worked with Peacock. I did want to give you some ideas on what you can make with it. So once again, I looked at projects that you have uploaded. And for instance, here you can see Linda made this set of mittens, a cowl, and a hat. And she used it for some of the edges to give it a little bit of trim. Hui made this incredible cape that I just think looks so majestic. This is what a fantasy queen wears when she parades in her garden in a movie. And then finally, Tanya made this adorable little dog, which I think just looks so fluffy, so sweet, must have been a lot of work, and just absolutely adorable. So those are some ideas on what you can make with Peacock, made by you out there. Thank you so much to all of you who upload these pictures into our user gallery. I really love going there for inspiration. I also love going there for information. So sometimes if you get asked on here, or if you get asked on by a customer, does this yarn work well for project X? And you've never used it yourself, or you haven't used it for that kind of project, so it's hard to give a straight answer. But if you look in the user gallery and you end up seeing 15 amigurumis made with this yarn, then you can very confidently say, absolutely, yes, you can. Here are the colors that we have for Peacock. So, like I said, while it gives you kind of that super fuzzy kind of, well, eyelash or fur effect, it isn't like made to be a fake fur yarn. It is more made to trigger your creativity and give you a bunch of different cool effects that you can use. It is 40% off with our code HAPPY40, which you can use till tomorrow evening, evening our time. I was going to say there's a timer, there's a nifty timer on the page that shows you how long the offer is valid for, but as we've established, that timer isn't set up correctly, so I'm sorry for that. I do have one last yarn before we're moving on to our little break where we're going to do another giveaway. Joanna's saying, how does it work easiest for knitting? Do you mean specifically in what kind of way, or do you mean why does it work easier for knitting? I mean, the why I think is just because with knitting you have your stitches on your needle, right? So you don't have to go looking for it, which is quite tough when you have a lot of fiber blocking the way. As to the how, I imagine pretty much for any kind of project. I know Zenda, our Swedish host, I think back in the day did some swatches for it as well, and she also came back with the feedback that it knits up actually pretty easily because the thread behind the fibers is actually quite pronounced. So it's not like a chenille yarn where you have it in the center and you have equal amounts of fiber distributed around it. You do actually have kind of a bottom thread to work with. So your project is also kind of going to have a nice and a less nice side. So it's going to have a clearer in and outside when you work with it. What is the best yarn for children's hats, says Tina. I think it depends. So if you're thinking of making a hat for winter, so a beanie, I would definitely, out of today's selection, probably go for one of the alpacas actually, or one of the acrylics if the kid is very sensitive. We do also have a wool blend coming up later that can also work really nicely. It always depends on if the kid is sensitive. If you're making something for a baby, I would always go merino wool. We don't have a merino wool yarn in the selection today. My personal favorite on our website is our extra fine merino, our friend's extra fine merino, I should say, which we now actually have in a second yarn weight. So we've now got an XL version of that. For those of you who, like me, like working with slightly thicker needles, a very, very exciting new addition. So I would imagine those are really good. If you're making just a hat for summer or for all seasons, then I would always go for a really nice soft cotton, personally, because that's kind of, that works for all seasons. That's really nice, and also great for things like bucket hats. So I would say, and Tina says yes for winter. I think out of today's selection, I would probably go with Tweed Delight, which we have coming up later. But from our entire catalog, I would definitely recommend looking at our extra fine merino. In my opinion, the most wonderful merino yarn out there, and a great, great, great yarn to work with for people who are more sensitive, because merino yarn has a very, very, very low fiber thickness, which means the individual fiber is extremely thin and therefore extremely soft, so it is much, much less likely to cause irritation on the skin, because most of the irritation on the skin that people experience with things like wool and other materials is actually due to the fiber density or thickness and the friction that it causes. So Tweed Delight is very soft for wool. I would agree. I'd say Tweed Delight, which we have coming up later, is an incredibly soft yarn, considering that it is a very, very loosely spun wool yarn. So, and I also really like it. But next, we actually have a different yarn. We have Mega Ball, which is also a yarn that you could definitely use to make children's things. It's an acrylic yarn. So this is 100% acrylic, and it comes in these massive skeins. So Mega Ball, the name truly says it all. It is mega. Mega Ball is a big, big, big bang for your buck acrylic yarn. It is a medium weight, that is worsted or Aran weight. Actually, it's not an Aran because it's not Mega Ball Aran, so it is a medium weight. Excuse me. I forgot that this is a fizzy drink, and I just drank a lot of it quite quickly. I drink fizzy drinks most of the time. I am German, so I'm a big, big fan of sparkling water. And every time I go live, though, because of the talking, I don't want to constantly be burping while on the stream, obviously. And so I'm usually very good at remembering to put still water, but today I did not. Excuse me. Mega ball, great for those of you who are planning to do any large scale projects. You want to make a big blanket, get yourself mega ball. You want to do maybe a temperature blanket, mega ball. You want to make a sweater and you don't want to have to weave in a million ends, mega ball. You want to do any kind of large scale project. You just want to keep going, not have the skein end, mega ball. It's 1,300 yards that you get on here, so loads of yards. You can pretty much work with this until you drop. It is a very nice soft acrylic variety. I would say out of ours, it's more of a run-of-the-mill acrylic, but it is very durable, nice on the skin, keeps up for a really long time. It can be machine washed at low to medium temperature, so again, something that you can take care of very easily. Recommended hook or needle size is a 4.5 to 5.5 millimeter, so it sits in that nice medium weight category as well. Here you can see it up close, so this is our mega ball. This one matches my nails quite nicely. You have a massive range of colors to choose from. It's more than 30 colors, so great for pretty much anything you might be planning because you can just find loads of options there. Holly says mega ball is great. It is great for blankets. And Yvonne says, it should be called blanket yarn because it is perfectly suited for blankets. It definitely is for that. And Amber says, this is the yarn you want to use in a maze. Mega ball. That's actually a really good slogan. Maybe I should pitch this to our content team that they should do kind of a Minotaur's Labyrinth style ad that they shoot with mega ball where you actually do use it to get out of a labyrinth. Really like that idea. I picked some nice inspiration for you as well from our user gallery to show you some things that you can make with it. First up is Jennifer, who did make a little amigurumi Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, which I think is super, super cute. So you have definitely amigurumi potential. We had a blanket like this last week and I really, really love the concept. So very happy to see that someone also made it with Mega Ball. This is Claire's project and it is one of those blankets that if you kind of pull from the center and fold it in, it actually becomes a bouquet of flowers. So when you store it away, it stores away like a bouquet. And Fiona made this incredible, incredible blanket with a German Shepherd design. And I just think it looks absolutely incredible. And I wanted to share it with you because what a cool project. So those are some ideas on what you can make with Mega Ball, which is of course a acrylic yarn. So great for a variety of projects from household accessories to decoration to clothing. Pretty much something you can work on with everything. Claire is saying, I'm currently making a hexagon cardigan with mega balls. Another great example. And yeah, you get loads of yarn in one go, so you can just craft away. This is Mega Ball. It's 40% off if you use our code HAPPY40, which is valid until tomorrow, 5 p.m. CT, so tomorrow, beginning of this stream, roughly 23 hours from now. And with that, we're halfway through the yarns. So can't believe that it took me almost an hour to get to this point. But we are here now. So this is our little break. And first, I quickly want to do a little bit of advertising because we've just launched a really cool product that we talked about briefly on Bingo yesterday. So this is not part of today's selection, but I still wanted to share it with you because I think it's really cool. It's the first time that we've done something like this. This is our new macrame kit. So for those of you who have used macrame before, if you're looking for a cool little project maybe to get your friends into it, you could get them this kit. And if you've never tried macrame before but you're curious, then this kit could be for you. It's made with Judith Jelena, who is a German influencer. And so this is the first of its kind because we essentially got together with a designer. She came up with the designs. We provided the entire product and everything and then created this kit together. Similar to how our advent calendars are designed in a way, but just on a different scale. So this is a little kit that has everything you need to make 3 different keychains. So it's a keychain design. And I actually can show you what they look like. So in the kit, I'm going to go on the close-up cam so I can do a little unboxing. So in the kit, this is not in the kit, but in the kit you get 3 different colors of macrame yarn. It is a recycled cotton blend, and then you get a few accessories, which are everything you need to make these little keychains. There are 3 beads included, so you could make 1 with beads, 2 with beads, or you could give 1 bead to all 3. There's also enough if you want to make the keychain a little bit longer. You can actually add a 3rd repetition of this pattern at the bottom. So they are adjustable to your liking, and they come, of course, with the little key attachment at the front as well. So this, and there's a 3rd one, but I only have the 2 here, is all part of the kit. And yeah, we've just launched it. It's a very, very new product. I will, excuse me, I will probably feature this in future episodes and go maybe a little bit more in detail, because we also have launched quite a lot of macrame yarns recently. But I just wanted to share it with you because I think it's a really, really cool product and something that you maybe did not see has recently been posted on our website. So if any of you are... Katrina says, whenever I hear the word macrame, I immediately flash back to my childhood in the 70s. I always think of my sister because my sister is really into it, and I actually have quite a lot of plant hangers that she made for me over the years, and that some of them I ordered specifically, so I gave her specific what I wanted and she made them for me. But yeah, so maybe a little gift, maybe a nice little idea. You can find it on our website. It's the macrame kit. So this is just a little ad that I wanted to do because I really liked Erica saying, I'm not really a macrame person, but I hope that Hobbii makes more kits in the future. It's also a bit of a test run, of course, to see if this is something that people want, if this is something that garners a lot of interest, but I think it's really cool. And with that, this is our little break in the middle. I'm going to do like a little bit of advertising real quick. Specifically, I just wanted to quickly say, if you enjoy hearing me ramble about yarn and you want more of it, then this week you actually get the chance to see me one more time, and that is on Thursday, where we will have our quiz time. So on Thursday, I am actually going to host quiz time. Get ready. It's going to be a fantastic show. Probably, most likely, I'll do my best. So that's Thursday, same time as this stream, on Facebook and YouTube, for a little bit of trivia and the chance to win some awesome prizes. And finally, with that, let's roll out for our next giveaway. This giveaway is now for a gift card worth $25, and you can participate on Facebook and on YouTube. All you need to do to participate on our giveaway is type our super secret code word in the chat, and that super secret code word is #giveaway. You've got 1 minute and 20 seconds to do it, and nope, that's not it. Do I keep playing the giveaway song? That could be what this is, because there is a mysterious thing that says give, and I assumed that it would be this camera, but it's not. So #giveaway in the chat now for a chance to win a gift card worth $25, or the equivalent in your currency if you're shopping in another currency, of course. So #giveaway, spelled the way it is spelled, right here above me in the chat now for a chance to win. And someone's asking about Craft and Chat, which will make its return. Jaya and I have just started kind of some content planning and some planning for, well, we have to talk to Matt about if we can broadcast, and then that means he'll take a break from that, we'll take a break from quiz time, or we're thinking of maybe, doing it at a different time. But it's kind of hard for especially Jaya, because it's hard to be live in the evening when you have a small child waiting for you at home. So we're figuring it out, but Craft and Chat will make a return for sure. We just don't quite know exactly when. We still have to finish our Suki Slipover, which sits in my living room looking at me judgingly, because I still need to finish the ribbing and I need Jaya to help me do that. And I really would like to do it as part of a live stream and not just do it secretly at home, because I do think if someone's been following along, it would be fun for them as well to see the payoff. We're now going to find our winner for a $25 gift card, and we do have another giveaway at the end of the stream, so make sure you stick around. And this one is from YouTube, and it is DK from YouTube. DK on YouTube, congratulations. You are winner number 2 today. I need to write this down. And please, DK, do make sure that you redeem your gift card. And what you need to do in order to redeem your gift card is quite simply send us an email to live@hobbii.com. DK, please send us an email to live@hobbii.com. DK on YouTube. And best include your channel name and everything just to make sure that we get the right person and that we know it is you who won. Congrats, DK. And we do have one giveaway at the end of the show, so do stick around for that, please, if you want, for the chance to win $50. Whoa. What? That's so much yarn. I hope that wasn't too loud. Now, we have 2 alpaca yarns coming up next. I'm gonna grab them from my trusty little basket right here. Both of these made from 100% alpaca, both of these absolutely lovely, both of them quite different from each other. So the first one I have for you is our upcycled Suri alpaca. Upcycled Suri alpaca is a 100% Suri alpaca yarn. So there's 2 different varieties of alpaca in the world, and Suri alpaca is one specific one, which is the producer, or which has a pelt, I guess, that turns into this kind of yarn. So the yarn is a lot more curly and wavy and fuzzy than other alpaca yarns. So you get this really nice kind of, you have this curled coat on the alpaca. Coat is the word I was thinking of. Which then turns into a super lovely fuzzy and soft yarn. This is an upcycled yarn, meaning that it's made from excess fibers from production processes in the textile industry. So these fibers were always meant for textile production. They just weren't specifically meant to become yarn. And then these fibers are, however, upcycled so that you can then work with them. It is lovely and soft. It's a bit nice and has a nice bulk to it. The recommended hook or needle size is a 6 to 7 millimeters. So it's a nice, slightly thicker size. And you get 120 yards on one of these skeins. And I actually have a project here that is made from the upcycled Suri alpaca because I wanted to show you real quick what that looks like. So this is the, I need to actually quickly look up the name. I've forgotten the name. I highlighted it. It's the fringy wrap shawl. So it's this, as the name suggests, wrap shawl. There are some buttons here, so you can kind of, hang on. You can like do it up if you want for sort of more of a jacket feel, or you can just leave it hanging. It is incredibly warm, so I am going to take this off immediately, but I will show you a little close-up so you can get an idea of what the yarn looks like when it is being worked up. So the fringy wrap shawl made from our upcycled Suri alpaca. This is an intermediate level knit pattern, and you can see how lovely and soft the yarn looks just here. It is super, super, super soft. I do know that some people are sensitive or allergic to alpaca. If that is you, then I'm afraid this might not be your yarn, but this is so gorgeous and soft. And if alpaca is something that you love working with, I would recommend that you give the Suri alpaca yarn a try because it is a little bit different from other alpaca yarns that you might know, but still super lovely to work with, super unique. The color palette is quite small and limited, and because it is an upcycled yarn, that does also mean that a lot of the colors are limited. Sometimes they have one batch, they produce a yarn out of it, maybe it's 10,000 skeins. Once those are sold, then that yarn is gone, and there may be a different color coming, but never quite the same again. So that's just good to know, especially if you want to make a large-scale project. make sure that you get the right amount for your project. And if you're working on something that takes a long time, just keep that in mind with these kinds of upcycled products. This is, by the way, the current label that the yarn has. So if you have ordered previously, or you may still get batches that have the old label, this is the most current one, which I think looks super cool. So this is the upcycled Suri alpaca, and I actually did also want to show you some projects from the user gallery. So this is by Melanie, who did this lovely granny patterned project, and then Edwina made a super fuzzy, cozy sweater out of the yarn. So you can see it is great for clothing. It is great for, Christian says, so it's not soft. Oh, it is incredibly soft, in my opinion. So I would say that this is one of our softest alpaca yarns. It just has a lot of fluff, so it has a lot of fibers. And if that is something that you are sensitive to, then it might not be ideal. But if you're not, then this is incredibly soft and gorge. Gorge. I love it. So this is our upcycled Suri alpaca. We do also have another beautiful alpaca yarn, quite different in look and feel, and it is soft alpaca. It is called soft alpaca. It is a soft alpaca, and it is absolutely lovely. You can immediately see very different, way less fluff, way more just a simple strand of a superfine or a sock weight yarn that you can then work with. Recommended hooker needle size is a 3 to 4 millimeter, and we do recommend that you hand wash this yarn. The same goes for the Suri alpaca. That too is a hand wash recommended yarn. As you can see, the color is a little bit mottled, so you get a little bit of that melange colored yarn with our soft alpaca. This is more pronounced in some colors and less pronounced in others. So for instance here, this blue shade, you can see it's pretty solid in comparison to the green, which is a little bit more mottled. So you get a little bit of both worlds with this yarn. It is a super lovely yarn to work with. Great if you enjoyed Highland wool, which we had last week, but you would rather use alpaca than sheep. They're quite similar in my opinion and work up really nicely, both of them. And we do have, wait, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more because I want to show you the colors options that we have, because there's a lot of them. There are a lot of lovely neutral shades, there are dark shades, there are some lighter shades. It's a really lovely palette, a little bit more muted overall, I would say. Very Scandi vibes, in my opinion, that you can make some gorgeous projects with. We do have some amazing patterns for this yarn. I'm going to quickly pull them up so I can show you. One of them I've showed before, and it is one of my big favorites. And it actually is made using the soft alpaca in combination with Winter Glow Solid, which we already had on the show. So this is an intermediate level crochet pattern, and it is called the Tiggy Children's Dress. It is this cute pinafore dress design, perfect for fall, with a cute little mushroom design. And it is made from a blend of Winter Glow Solid and soft alpaca. So these two yarns you can definitely combine in a project like this and make something absolutely wonderful for a child to wear for fall or winter. I did also include, of course, some more patterns. We have this knitting pattern. Nope. There we go, which is the Tipsy Cowl pattern, and it also comes with a Tipsy Beanie pattern. So we have these two quite advanced knit patterns that you could make for a cute little cowl and beanie combo. And finally, we have one more, this stunning crochet design. It is a more advanced design as well. This is the Wingman Cape, and I just think it looks so cool, because you just make an entrance when you enter wearing a Wingman Cape. Well, it's called the Wingman Wrap, actually. I just think it should be called Cape, because imagine just walking in with this dramatic wrap kind of blowing in the wind behind you as you walk. This is the wingman wrap pattern that you can make out of our soft alpaca, and then cozy up with a book and a cup of coffee, and then just look absolutely stunning all day, every day. So these are some ideas on what you can make from our beautiful, beautiful soft alpaca yarn. Katrina saying, if I lived in Scandinavia, I would totally wear the colors of the Northern Lights all the time. They are absolutely beautiful. I do think that Scandi styles, I mean, of course, you can never, you know, generalize, or you should never generalize. But I do think that overall, also a lot of my friends, a lot of my colleagues do tend to really enjoy neutrals. So I see a lot of beige, I see a lot of gray, I see a lot of those very nice navy as well, but these really nice neutral shades. And personally, I kind of skew a little bit more towards kind of jewel tones. I love deep reds, I love deep greens, and then pops of color as well. So I don't know. I think there's definitely something to be said for the kind of Nordic Scandi vibes. I just personally like a little bit more of color. So I think Northern Lights is a really nice idea. Like these kinds of colors, and then a little just pops of other things in there. But I really do love Scandi design overall. I just think could be a little bit more colorful. You know, it's cold, it's dark half the year. Why not wear something bright red every once in a while? And which, to be fair, you do see a lot of that here as well. You see a lot of neutrals and then one very bright pop of color. And then also Copenhagen has a really cool, very laid back fashion scene as well, where you will see cool prints and cool pops of color coming up as well. And then, of course, a lot of neutrals to pair with that. So it definitely has its own unique fashion aesthetic as well. But whenever I think Scandi, I think kind of very neutral shades. Jody is saying Stockholm is entering their grey wardrobe season. Yeah. We're not quite, I mean, we are slowly getting there, but I'm still quite happy when I look outside every day and I still see people wearing shorts. I'm wearing pants today, but I was wearing a dress yesterday, so, you know. It is quite nice that we still have a little bit of that left. Yvonne is currently making the wingman wrap, but using unicorn and unicorn solid. That also sounds amazing. Please do upload a picture on the pattern page so I can, you know, I can go in there and check it out when you're done. No, you know, no pressure, but when you're done, I would really like to see that. We have 4 yarns left, but really it's almost only 2 because the last 3 I've grouped together and they're essentially the same yarn. But the next one I already mentioned before as a great idea for a hat for winter coming up, and it is Tweed Delight. So Tweed Delight, big favorite of mine, is a gorgeous, gorgeous wool blend that has the little viscose nubs for tweed effect. So you'll see it here. It's a blend of 85% wool, 10% acrylic, and 5% viscose. The viscose is these little pops of material that are stuck onto the wool thread, and as you work them up, the friction of the fibers keeps them in place, so despite being very loosely attached, they will not come off your projects. You don't have to worry about that. It is a super woolly, cozy yarn. It's just 1 ply, so it's twisted very, very, very lightly and gently, which also gives you a lot of variation in the thickness of the thread. So you can see that on these skeins. You'll see that you have some more twisted and thinner sections and also just a little less material. And then juxtaposed, you do have these chunkier parts as well. So again, you will get a very handmade, very slightly rustic feel and look from this yarn. It is a medium weight or a worsted weight yarn and comes in a bunch of gorgeous different colors. These flecks are always kind of picked to create a specific vibe with the yarn, right? So here you have the brown and then you have these little flecks of green and yellow. So very autumnal, very much sort of a tree that still has the very last few leaves clinging onto it. Here the mustard yellow just has these blacks, grays and whites. So a pop of color, but then some neutral little flecks. And here you have the exact opposite. You have color, and then you have loads of different kind of funfetti flecks here. So it's a lot of different colors playing together, but always creating a very harmonious vibe, so to speak. The full color palette you can see here, and you can see a lot of different options, shades of greens, reds, blues, and neutrals, of course. I did actually bring one sample of a pattern, so this is the Slate Sweater, which is a knitting pattern for experienced knitters, and I have it right here. I am not going to put it on just because it is very, very hot in here and I'm already a little bit sweaty, and I think I would honestly be quite uncomfortable if I put this on. So this is the Slate Sweater, which is a gorgeous knit project, and as you can see here, these flecks are worked in really well, so you can kind of see they are not going to just come off at random. And this sweater, I think particularly, is just really lovely with these different designs. So there's already quite a lot of interest in terms of the pattern, which means that having a more muted color actually goes quite nicely together. In the studio light, I think the pattern doesn't pop quite that much. I mean, it does a little bit when you hold it away, but I will show you the pictures on the website, because there you can see, like in the light, how the different textures coming out because of the pattern are really, really stunning and really lovely to look at. And I did bring some more patterns. One is a cardigan pattern that I've kind of got my eye on a little bit, but I don't really dare try because I've only just done my first ever knit project, but this is the Grandpa Cardigan, and it also combines two yarns from today's selection. So the cardigan is made in Tweed Delight, and then the little details that you can see along the ribbing are made using our Winterglow Solid once again. So another one where we've combined some of the yarns from today's selection, and I love the look of those little added details, those little added stitches. It's one of those things that has made me kind of think about just adding them to a different kind of project, even if I never end up doing the Grandpa Cardigan. So that was the Grandpa Cardigan sweater. It's an intermediate knit pattern, also available for free on our website. And then finally, I did also pick out one crochet pattern. This one is actually quite beginner friendly. I have started it a long time ago, and I don't actually even know where my whip currently is for that one, but this is the Balmoral Vest. So the Balmoral Vest, which is a fairly simply constructed vest pattern that I am going to finish one of these days. This is a crochet pattern, and it does work up actually quite nicely. I think when I started this, I was still too much of a perfectionist in my crochet. I've kind of gotten over that a little bit more. But at the time, I really struggled with it not looking absolutely perfect on the first try, and then gave up very quickly, which is really annoying with that specific pattern, because you start here. This part is what you start with. Meaning, I frogged when I was maybe this far along, meaning the mistake / the stitch that I think didn't look that good would have been somewhere here. Do you think anyone would have ever seen that mistake? No. So, you know, this would have been, you know, a completely easily hidden little mistake. But no, I frogged it, I think 5 times. And then started over again, and then frogged again, and then started over again, and then frogged again, and then ultimately put it to the side because it was frustrating me too much. And it wasn't because the pattern was hard to follow. It's super basic. It's half double crochets into the back loop, if I remember correctly, or could be into the front post. But either way, it's a very simple, just ribbed pattern with half double crochets. But it was just, you know, I really wanted it to look perfect, and it didn't, because, you know, it's handmade. And perfection should not be the goal there. It should be the joy of creation, and then the pride in having created something. And with that really deep note, I'm going to move away from Tweed Delight, which was our second to last yarn of the night, and it is 40% off with our code HAPPY40. This is a wool yarn. I will say that out of all of our wool yarns with a large wool percentage, so this is 85% wool, it is one of the softest ones out there that we have. So again, Katrina says, yeah, no one would have noticed unless you pointed it out every time someone complimented your vest, which I 100% would do. That's very on-brand for me to do that. But still, you know, it's so frustrating to think about how many attempts I started and how frustrated I was when really, you know, no one would have noticed. Oh well, one day I will finish that vest. I picked, I can show you the color I have that I started it with. It's the one called Marshland, which is this lovely green that I really, really like. So it's this lovely green color. And one day I will make that vest. I did also get a lot of there's another green, which is, I think, yeah, it's called Pickles. This one I do also have quite a few skeins of, and I will also maybe make something like the vest out of it at some point. But I really love those yarns. And it is really fun to work with, even with the uneven texture. I really enjoy kind of working with it. It's a nice thicker hook size, so that's always good for me. Sharon says perfectionism is a very German thing. I think it is partially. I do think that the German culture kind of lends itself to raising perfectionists, or, you know, we're very raised also very much to think of things like grades and stuff. That's something that I love about Scandinavia. Just to go on one last complete tangent about living in the Nordics. When I first moved here, I came from the very, very German system where you are essentially trained from a young age to know that your worth is kind of measured in your grades that you got in school, in the sense that if you apply for a job in Germany, it is very common, even if you've worked now for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years even, it's very common to still put your GPA on your CV. And I think it's even quite common to put a copy of your transcript to show that you have good grades, which is really ridiculous, I guess, especially if you have job experience, because at some point, you know, the grades shouldn't matter anymore. It's the experience you have that you bring to the table. And also you're just very used to everything being measured in that. And I started studying at university in Sweden where they gave letter grades. But I later found out that the letter grades are completely arbitrary because each university just has its own system of how they assign the grades. So for some of them, and they're all like A2, but it's, you know, it's like, so an A is the best you can get. But there was no, well, an A means exactly this grade in German and a B means this grade, because it's completely depending on which university you're at, depending on how exactly they measure. So basically they had a pass-fail system where everyone just cared to pass. But I was sitting there and I was like, I got a C. So is that like a 3 would be in Germany? But that doesn't make sense because there's like 6 passing grades. So it's better than that. But I don't understand. And my friends thought I was completely ridiculous for that. So, yeah. A lot of people are saying that is crazy. Well, I also don't know how extreme it still is, but that was how I was raised. So I was very much raised to essentially in school, well, not raised, but like that's kind of the system that I grew up with, where in school it was essentially like you have to get really good grades because 15 years from now someone might ask why you didn't do well at maths at the senior high school level, you know. And I don't think anyone here has ever even asked me. I'm not even sure if anyone's ever asked me in an interview what my degree is in. They've just been mostly caring about, do I know the job and why and how do I think I'm qualified? But, you know, so that's a little interesting little kind of difference in culture, I guess. Actually quite freeing to kind of not care about those things so much anymore. It's on your permanent record, says Cynthia. Yeah, I think the permanent record thing is something that the Germans are quite scared of. Like, when I graduated high school, we were given 5 notarized copies of our transcript and our kind of proof, and that had all of our grades. Because I think the idea is that you would need 5 or more for various stages in your life to apply for things and prove that you got these grades. I needed 1 because when you enroll in university, you have to send in a notarized record because they need to make sure that you have actually, in fact, graduated high school and are eligible to study at a university. So really, I've only had to send the one. They give you 5, which means that clearly the culture is set up so that they think you're going to need those. So yeah, perfectionism. You know, it can steal quite a lot of joy out of creation. Cynthia asks if you have to live in Denmark to work for Hobbii. Not necessarily. So Hobbii does hire freelancers. Those live globally. You can commute from neighboring countries. So Sweden specifically. There are options for remote work in applicable positions. So I think if you work in IT, for instance, and programming, I do think that there are freelance positions as well. If you do something like this, then you kind of have to be local because, you need to be able to come to the studio. All right, so we do have 3 more yarns left. Well, it's one yarn family. So what I have for you last is Honey Bunny Candy, and Honey Bunny Shine. So these 3 are all chenille yarns, and they are all best friends, best buddies, truly part of one family. Made from 100% polyester. So on the Honey Bunny, the basic one, you just get a super soft, lovely chenille yarn. That means you have a very thin thread in the middle that has all these fibers sticking out in a circular fashion, and therefore you get a yarn that is just this little caterpillar of yarn, which is where it gets its name, from the French word for caterpillar. It's 130 yards on one skein. It's a super bulky yarn with a recommended hooker needle size of a 6 to 7 millimeter. And then we got Honey Bunny Candy, which is the same yarn, except it has an additional little neon thread worked around it. So that gives you these little pops of neon color coming out of the yarn. That is Honey Bunny Candy. And then finally we have Honey Bunny Shine. And this one is a little bit tougher to show on camera, but it has a slight bit of glitter. Oh yeah, on the red it actually pops really nicely. So here you can see it is a very, very, very subtle glitter, and the glitter is worked in along with the fibers. So it's not a glitter that comes off. It is actually little glitter filaments that are worked in the same way that these polyester fibers are. So it's truly part of the construction and the structure of this little yarn caterpillar. So that's Honey Bunny Shine, Honey Bunny Candy, and regular Honey Bunny. And I do have some samples of these 3 yarns as well that I'll just quickly show you, especially with the Honey Bunny Candy. I think it is very nice to see how it looks when used. So you can see that these little neon nubs stand out, whereas the thread, if you kind of pull, you can see it a little bit here, actually almost sinks into the chenille fibers and then isn't really seen anymore. So you really only get the nubs sticking out. We do also have a little sample here of just the regular Honey Bunny, so you can just kind of see how it looks when used. And then I think this one's going to be the toughest one to see, just because I picked a light color, so you can't really see the glitter on the Honey Bunny Shine that well. But these yarns are super fun to work with for any super soft projects you may want to do. It is very much designed kind of as a go-to amigurumi yarn, but you can use it for clothing, you can use it for accessories, you can use it for household decorations, cushions, pillowcases. The list is endless. I know Nicola, my friend and colleague, has been using Toucan and Honey Bunny to make little headbands and little scarves as well, because she really likes the super, super soft chenille quality. And the color palette is ideal for pretty much any kind of projects. You get all the colors you could need. The ones for Candy and Shine are a little bit more limited compared to the regular Honey Bunny palette, but the base colors are the same. So the color, let's say for instance 122, this nice dark gray, is going to be the same color base for Honey Bunny Candy and Honey Bunny Shine as well. So you can combine them quite nicely. I did get some little bit of inspiration from the user gallery for some projects that you can make with these yarns. Many of them are amigurumi, like this cute little Highland cow by Eliza. There's this adorable little frog by Veronica made in Honey Bunny Candy with the cute little neon nubbins, just giving it that little bit of an extra effect. There's a cute little pouch or purse made in Honey Bunny Shine by Cheryl. So another cute project that you can make with this. And then finally, this cushion in the shape of a basketball by Chelsea, which I think is another really cool use of the yarn. Super soft when you sit on it, and just a really nice project. Nice gift for a sports fan if you have one in your life and you want to make something for them. So that was our Honey Bunny family, the entire Honey Bunny family, all in one. All of those are 40% off if you use our code HAPPY40 until tomorrow evening, our time. So roughly 23 and a bit hours from now. And those were the last yarns that we had for you today. I do, however, have one last giveaway. And once again, this is for you who are watching on Facebook and on YouTube. And you now get the chance to participate in our giveaway in just a second. And what I need you to do is just one more time, please put hashtag giveaway in the chat, comment hashtag giveaway in the chat for a chance to win a gift card worth $50. So this is the second one that we're doing. This is the big one at the end to say thank you for sticking around for an hour and a half. It is quite a long stream if Matt's not here to hurry me along a little bit. But thank you to all of you for joining us. You are supposed to get a message on Facebook Messenger that includes the links to our deals, that it also includes the links to our Facebook group, and I also linked the amigurumi, the macrame kit there if you want to check that out. So you should have gotten a message in your messenger by now. If you have not, I apologize. There should also be a follow-up message coming later today. You can get all the deals by following the links that we've put in our video description, that we've put in the chat. And if you've been here for a while, you can also reuse the links from the previous week to get to our deals page. On Instagram, if you just comment happy40, it should send you a DM on Insta with the link to our deals. And if you're on YouTube, it should be in the video description for you as well. So check out those deals, make use of the discount if there's something that you would like to get. And make sure to comment hashtag giveaway in the chat now. You've got a few seconds left for a chance to win a gift card worth $50 or equivalent in your currency. Tina is saying thank you for the help with the yarn. I am very happy I could help you. If you have any questions, I'm always happy to keep an eye out on the chat. Katrina says the macrame kit is not part of Happy40, correct? No, it is not today. I may in the future be able to offer some offer on it. Today I just wanted to show it to you because I think it's a really cool product. And we have our third winner of the night, winner of a gift card worth $50, and it is Donna M. Seeley. Congratulations, Donna. I will quickly note down your name so that I can then make sure to get your code ready for you. Donna M. Seeley, congratulations, and thank you very much for participating. Donna, I will ask you to please send me an email to live@hobbii.com and include which country it is that you are shopping from so I can make sure to make the code out for the correct store. That is Donna M. Seeley, our third winner of the night. Congrats, and thank you to all of you for joining. I hope that you had a nice time with me. I know it's a bit different when Matt's not here. I did get off on some tangents. I hope I managed to kind of rein it in a little bit. And as usual, if you'd like to see more of me, join me on Thursday for quiz time and join me again next week for our live shopping. Same time, same place. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day and talk to you soon. Bye!